He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Okay, Murdoch, so are you going to tell the story?
Again. You really want to hear this again?
Murdoch, that is the whole reason we're here. Tell the story.
So I was 11 years old, and let's just say that me and my auntie weren't getting on. And I thought that it was time to run away. Get on the road and hitchhike, try to find my mum, who was in Pātea. So I planned it on a Friday afternoon because I knew that my auntie would be at the local. Straight after school, I get on the road, go over the hill onto State Highway 1, outside of Te Kaupata, and I'm standing there, and it mustn't have been more than 10 minutes, a car pulls up. The windows come down, and this lovely gentleman says,
Shall I be the man?
well, why don't you?
I am the man. Where are you going?
I say, Pātea. He looks at me and says,
Where? In Taranaki?
yeah. And then there's this conversation.
And how old are you?
11.
11?
Yeah. Can I get a ride?
Well, what do you reckon, missus? What do we do here? Yeah, all right, kid. Well, we're only going to Hamilton, but we can take you there. Get in the back.
So I think, okay, get in the car. I'll find another ride once I get to Hamilton.
So the fella asked you how old you were, and you told him. And at no stage did he think that was weird.
Yeah, I think they did. They absolutely did. I'm an 11-year-old on the side of the road,
Right.
hitchhiking to Pātea. So, yeah, they were a little bit suspicious, but I had so much confidence. I think the story that I actually told them was that we were planning, me and my family were planning to go to Pātea, and the car broke down, and my family thought it was more important to fix the car, and I would just get on the road and hitchhike. And everyone was happy with that.
Oh, sure. It's believable.
Totally.
Right.
They believed it. It's about 5 o'clock. The gentleman says, well, it's getting a bit late. Maybe you might want to stay at our place. We stop at the mall. He goes and gets supplies. Then he's back in the car. Then we're driving to their house. We get to the house, and their house is like a palace. I remember it was like a Lockwood home, and at the time, Lockwood homes were the best homes. And then I'm showing my room. It's huge, like really huge.
Okay, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm loving this, by the way. Keep going.
I fall asleep eventually, wake up in the morning to this beautiful aroma of breakfast. I think it was Vogel's. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I have made it.
I live here now.
This is my new home. I'm waking up to my new forever mum and dad. And on the bench, I see a brown paper bag, and I'm getting suspicious. What's that brown paper bag? Because it looks like a lunch bag. I go and take a seat. And then the lovely woman says,
We packed your lunch, doll, for your journey.
my heart sinks a little bit. Then I think to myself, oh, this is them giving me notice. So we get in the car, and they're taking me to the best spot to catch a ride on the outskirts of Hamilton. I gather my brown paper bag. I reluctantly get out of the car, slowly opening the door. And I close the door, waving out to my forever mum and dad as they ride off into the sunset without their new son. It's not 5 minutes before I see in the distance a big Bedford van. I think it's B.A. Baracus, Murdoch and A-Team. The van pulls up. I hear the door open. Footsteps. And this little old lady, she's got a Māori Warden's uniform on. But she jumps out, she heads straight for me, and she says, "Where are you going?" Pātea. How old are you? I'm like, 11. She's like, "You're 11 and you're going to Pātea." Well, to tell you the truth, I'm running away from my auntie, Te Kaupata, and I'm heading to Pātea to go and find my mum. And she's like, "No, you're not. Get in the van."
Did you know what a Māori Warden was at this point?
Most definitely. I've seen them around, and I remember and recall there being Māori Wardens talked about in my home. So what I remember is jumping in the van and seeing 4 other Māori Wardens. I take my seat and then I discover that they're all heading to a Māori Wardens convention in Aotearoa. We're at this Māori Wardens convention. I have never seen such a concentrated number of Māori Wardens all at once in one location.
What's the mood at this point? Were you, you're supposed to be on your way to see your mum.
Joyce is showing me off to all of her Māori Warden friends. She's like, "Oh, I just found him. He was on the side of the road. Told him get in the van. Hey, thinks he's going to Pātea." I was like, "What? Nah, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, stay with me." So the whole weekend, I stayed right next to this woman. I wasn't leaving her side, and she was scanning for me everywhere at that convention, making sure that she had eyes on me, I suppose because she knew I was a runner.
Yeah. She could see that you were vulnerable.
Yeah.
And cheeky. Yeah.
But the whole weekend had this, it's ingrained in my memory that Māori Wardens, they are special people.
I think the most satisfying thing as a Māori Warden is what you've done. We go out there to do a job.
The Māori Wardens gave me more because it allowed me to get out to our people.
The greatest years I've had in my life have been as a Māori Warden.
Your shoes had to be so she could see her face in your shoes, or if your buttons weren't shiny, like that, if your hat wasn't straight.
So this podcast is all about the Māori Wardens, a volunteer organisation with a deep history of manaakitanga, which cares for the most vulnerable among us, all of us, but especially Māori.
I suppose before we talk too much about who Māori Wardens are, maybe we should introduce ourselves. It wasn't in Paris, but I did just come off the runway in Milan.
I'll tell the story since you can't be trusted.
Okay, liar.
We were in the lunchroom at our community radio station, and I had been working there for about 2 weeks. Now, just remember that this whole room is like an iridescent green bunker. And you came in and we were doing all that awkward first day for whanaungatanga, awful sit around the table, and you just came out with this totally outrageous story about trying to hitchhike from Te Kaupata to Pātea.
Yeah, I was going for the heartstrings thing.
Yeah, I think you just got the weird string though.
Maybe. Obviously, your voice stood out. She was loud, proud, and I knew not to mess with this woman.
Because I'm Australian?
Because you gave fearless vibes.
Well, I wanted to know more about the Māori Wardens. I'd never heard of the Wardens. Over the years, I kept coming back to this question, who are these folks? And the more I got to know Murdoch, the more I realised what Joyce and the Wardens had done for him, way beyond that one day.
So together, we decided to launch into this podcast.
I'm Amber, he's Murdoch, and you're listening to Viz Manaaki, a Māori Warden podcast.
I thought I had a picture.
So who is this lady? Joyce.
Joyce Williams, probably an angel, dressed as a Māori warden. And I'll look much different.
You would hope
But I couldn't find the picture.
How did it feel to be sitting down with Joyce for an interview?
Yeah, excited because the previous time that I saw her before that day was probably a whole year before at Kirikiriroa Marae.
Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you. What are you watching? We walked into the house and it was buzzing. There was like at least half a dozen people there already.
Her
Gloria welcomes us in, and then Joyce is there. Who else is there?
Her moko.
Yeah, there's a dog. There's it's all happening. Actually, Joyce was sitting on the sofa playing guitar. Do you remember? Joyce has a big, full life, lots of whānau, and there's lots to explore with her, but we thought we'd start at the start.
Did you have a good life growing up?
Yeah. Oh, we lived not right in Piu Piu, but we lived in Troopers Road, which is this side of Piu Piu, between Piu Piu and Te Kuiti. But my dad had died then, and my mum remarried another man. But we didn't really get on with him. He was quite cruel, and he used to drink. They used to fight. It wasn't good then.
Joyce grew up in a time of intense change for Māori. After the Second World War, there was a huge migration from rural areas into the big cities chasing work, education, but it came at a cost. Social and cultural dislocation, poverty, racism.
Hold up, Amber. I thought we decided we were holding on to the big history lesson for episode 2.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll get into that in a future episode, but the important bit to know now is that Joyce wanted to change things.
Do you remember why you wanted to become a Māori warden?
Just to help the people.
Why would you help people?
Of course, been there, done that. When you've had problems and then you can relate to other people that's going through difficulties.
People like you, I guess, Murdoch.
Well, you got to remember, I'm a kid standing on the side of the road and feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit scared.
I've never asked you this before, but were you a bit heartbroken that you weren't going to Patia? Like, you think you're on your way to see your mum and then this random lady just changes your plans?
Not at all. The effect that this woman had on me, it was like I'd found someone that really cared for me and was really, really looking out for me. So I didn't want to leave her side.
Kind of amazing that she could get that across to you, like by the side of the road in the space of a 3-minute conversation.
I actually got to stay with Joyce for like 3 months.
Was it just you? Was it just you joined the whānau, or what's the...
No, there were other social welfare kids there as well. So this is when I learnt that this woman not only takes in strays on the side of the road, she takes them in from anywhere. And I knew then that I was with someone that was pretty amazing. And what really set her apart was she said, like the social welfare call, I remember her giving social welfare a call and saying, yeah, I've got him, he's here, he's been with me the whole weekend. They show up probably about an hour later and they're ready to take me, uplift me from her. Joyce just stood there and said, no, you're not doing that. You need to ask this kid where he wants to go.
Joyce's thinking is totally ahead of the game here. This predates the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child by ages. Joyce is a trailblazer.
Yeah, she was way ahead of her time. I remember the social welfare person at the time looking at Joyce like, who the hell is this woman and who does she think she is?
So what happened next? she asks you where you want to go. Where did you want to go?
I didn't know. And she said, that's okay. You don't have to decide right now. She said, you're welcome to stay here with me until you can work it out.
What do you think? Like, was it when you kind of slide into this household, what did you have a sense of what that was like for the other people who were already there? Like, was everyone like, what's he doing here? Or what was the mood kind of? Do you have any memory of that?
Yeah, I feel like we all had this safety mechanism that we never had before.
They ranged in all ages, from babies to, mid-20s.
And watching all these waifs and strays find that new safety net was Joyce's daughter Gloria.
Drama in their life, that they needed somewhere to stay. So Mum and Dad were paid privately to utilise their whare to accommodate the children from social welfare. And that has just been ongoing.
Gloria became a warden too, just like her mum.
My name is Gloria Dornan. I'm a Māori Warden with Kirikiriroa Māori Warden Sub-Association Incorporated. My badge number is 3708, and I was training with the Māori Wardens in 1980 and became registered in 1985.
Wow.
So everything I have learnt, I learnt from my mother, who was a founding member of the Māori Wardens in Hamilton back in the early 1970s.
Gloria had left home by the time Joyce picked me up off the street. But she'd seen a lot of rangatahi like me over the years coming through her mum's house, and that wasn't always easy for her.
To me, I felt they were using my mother. That's what I felt, that they just came whenever they wanted something. She'd always give it to them. Didn't matter who they were. And that's what I felt, they were just using her. But as the years went by, I then had a change of attitude and could see why my mother was doing it. But when I was in my 20s, hell no. You just want my mother's money. You want to eat her food. That was just the way I was. Not like that now, but that's what I was like back then.
That's kind of relatable, right? Like, she's my mum, she should be looking after me, not all these other random kids.
That's one thing that Mum always taught me.
Gloria came around to her mum's way of thinking.
It didn't matter whether you were at home or away from home, you always looked after your manuhiri. Your visitors always came first. If there was enough kai for them and there wasn't enough for you, well, too bad. You didn't get any puff. You go without. You make sure everybody else gets fed. You can have a cup of tea and a biscuit later. That's what Mum would say. And then we'd have another warden down by the creek, and be teaching them, how to put a hinaki down to catch some eels. Those are the kind of things that we did for years with the rangatahi off the streets.
I actually did this when I was living with Joyce. The act of catching tuna or eels is something that's widely practiced in a lot of Māori families. It's the simplest form of re-indigenising our space with something attached to mātauranga, to traditional knowledge. And it's very special for these kids Joyce was dealing with to experience this. A lot of them are city kids, and they're disconnected from their heritage. That reconnection for me is one of the most special things the Wardens provide.
The background of some of the rangatahi were shocking. Mum and Dad, nobody home, or it was only Mum and there were 6 others, so in the whānau and she couldn't, cope, and there was alcohol and drugs going on and things like that.
I asked Joyce if it was hard to see rangatahi in that situation.
You see it's happening and you try your best to divert them from that, but you have to put something else in place. Just can't say, well, you don't do this and you don't do that. I think the best remedy I found was manaaki, just tell them you love them, tell them that they are somebody. Because many of those kids that get into trouble, they don't get the love from the whānau. Well, they don't get much love.
Gloria remembers one woman particularly well.
Bonnie was one that always stuck in my mind. And you could tell that she was lost. When I met her, Mum had her, because she was sleeping under the Frankton post office, climb underneath, crawl under there and just lie down. And Mum found her and she was all dirty. So Mum used my son's paddling pool to put her in there with some buckets of hot water and give her some soap. And so anyway, I said to Mum when I arrived, "What are you doing?" And Bonnie needs a bath. Tipping buckets of water on her. And she got the towel. I said, "Now what are you going to do? What clothes are you going to put on?" She said, "Oh, I've got her clothes." And then she goes inside, gets Dad's underpants, Dad's socks, Dad's tracksuit, and one of those Swan Dry heavy. She made Bonnie a bed in the garage, and then she went to Housing New Zealand to try and help Bonnie find a place. And it wasn't that long, it wouldn't even have been a year. And then I found out Bonnie had passed away. My mother used to say to me, never be judgmental, because you'll never know, there'll be a day when it might happen to you.
So there's Joyce in her warden's uniform fighting for people who have slipped through the cracks. She stood up for me. She was an angel.
Like, I can tell she really cared, but what do you mean?
She helped me realise that I didn't need to go where social welfare wanted me to go or deemed appropriate for me to go, right? And Joyce made it clear to me that it was up to me where I would go. She changed how I valued myself.
She leaves this impression on you and an impact of the way you look at things in life, the way you think. And it all comes from her. I know that I have a lot of things that I do that people will say to me, "You're just like your mother." And I'll look at them and say, "No, I'm not." You are. So I know when you talk about the impact and the influence she's had on you, she has on a lot of people that have come in contact with her, or she's helped them in some way or put them on the right path. That is something that she has done all her life.
Joyce was a founding member of the Māori Wardens, and she did actually rise to the head of the organisation in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton.
And in the same way that she expected the best of the agencies around her, she expected the best out of her wardens too.
Mum was a perfectionist. Oh, look, Dad would drive the bus when we headed up north to one of our conferences. Before you got to the marae, the town before you got there, she would get us all out at the public toilets. Men in there, women in there, now get in your uniforms. And she'd line us up on the footpath. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. We'd all be standing there like, we were as if we were in the army. And she would come along, fix your tie and your collar up. Your shoes had to be so she could see her face in your shoes. And then make us practice our waiata outside the toilets before we got there too. I was like, oh my goodness.
Your waiata tautoko.
On many, many occasions, annual conference, Kirikiriroa Māori Wardens won best dressed. It just became a norm that Kirikiriroa will take it out because that's Joyce Williams.
On the corner there in Hamilton? Yep. Well, I remember all those years ago, and then when I stayed with you, I remember I went to I got involved. I saw Joyce again at various points in my young life after I left her house all those years ago. Every other time I've bumped into Joyce over the years, she's recognised me instantly. But this day, she almost looked past me. Yeah. Actually, I was talking to another friend who I've told... She embraced me, as usual, but something wasn't quite the same.
How did you first know your mum was not herself?
Probably 12 years ago. She was doing things that she would not normally do, and that would be repeating herself. What day is it? And 10 minutes later, what day is it? So I would make out that it's the first time she ever asked me, and Dad's like, I told you 5 minutes ago. And then the mood changes started. If she's inundated with information, she doesn't retain it, so she gets confused and frustrated, and she'll swear at you. Don't bloody ask me that. Those are all parts of the condition of dementia. All Mum's life, she's been active and out there in the community, and it's just sad to see her deteriorate to how she is today.
Despite all that, Joyce, aged in her mid-80s, is determined to keep going.
I don't think I'll stop. I don't think I'll stop being a Māori Warden. Yeah, just that I don't go out on duty like I used to. Yeah, but I go to the station when the police call me, when they arrest our poor people, lock them up, and then I go down. Depends on what officers are on too. Some of them will always bring us in to, try and talk the rangatahi out of whatever they've done wrong. And police is very, they're there, it's the law, law enforcement. But wardens are not supposed to be anyway. It's supposed to be Manaaki, look after people.
Next time on Viz Manaaki, we're with Peter Walden at his place.
The Māori Wardens have endured a lot, and Peter was there when they were almost done for.
So the government found in 1971 that it could not sign the human rights for Indigenous people because of the Wardens. So they tried to get rid of us.
Join us next time. Kia ora. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thanks to Gloria Dornan and Joyce Williams. They opened their door and told us this wonderful story.
Open their hearts.
Especially on the day that Joyce picked me up on the side of the road.
Lifesaver.
Viz Manaaki was written by me, Murdoch Ngaho.
And me, Amber Hamill.
Thanks to our producers, Justine Murray and William Ray. You guys are awesome.
Executive producer, Tim Watkin.
And production coordinator,
Brianna Uritich-Gregg.
Thanks to William Saunders, the engineer for this episode. And a special shout out to our Auckland studio engineer, Corey Fuimaono, for always laughing at my jokes. Find and follow Viz Manaaki on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.